Have you ever felt a current, an unseen energy, humming beneath the surface of the world we live in? We think wars only happen on battlefields, and that power resides only in government buildings. But there is another kind of war, a spiritual war in which billions of people on this planet are actively engaged, whether you know it or not. This is not a fairy tale or an ancient myth. This is the reality of 2024. While we're consumed with politics, entertainment, and social media, an invisible army is subtly manipulating the destiny of nations. They don't live in caves or remote villages. They are present in government buildings, corporate offices, and even in ordinary homes. Today, we will look directly at 10 nations where spiritual activity is so prevalent it shapes the very fabric of society. We're not here to judge, but to understand. Not to be afraid, but to be equipped. Because to win in the dark, you must know where the light is. The 10 Paths 1. Tunisia, the ancient tapestry of magic. In North Africa, Tunisia is a nation with ancient history, but beneath its Mediterranean beauty lies a spiritual foundation woven with old rituals. Here, magic and curses are not just folklore, they are a part of daily life. Recent studies show that a large percentage of the population actively engages in supernatural practices. Earth magic is one of the most common forms where spells and magical items are buried in cemeteries to manipulate an enemy's fate. Images of stabbed photos and strange dolls found in burial grounds are not uncommon. The prevalence of these acts is so significant that local authorities have launched campaigns to collect these magical items from cemeteries. The warning: the normalization of these practices creates an atmosphere of fear and distrust, where people turn to supernatural forces instead of justice to resolve conflicts. 2. Ghana, where belief meets violence. Ghana, a nation rich in culture, is also home to a heartbreaking reality. The belief in witchcraft has led to horrific violence. This belief is so strong that it has created witch camps, places where hundreds of women accused of magic are held in isolation. Though the government has made efforts, the lack of legal action has allowed these communities to persist. Human rights reports have documented tragic stories of elderly women accused by their neighbors and subjected to brutal beatings. These camps not only hold the accused adults, but also their children, creating a generational cycle of abuse and lack of education. The warning: when curses and rituals become a tool of social control, they cease to be a personal belief and become a destructive force. Number 3. India, the allure of ancient spirituality. India, the cradle of many civilizations, is also a center of a complex spiritual culture. Alongside its noble philosophies, millions of people practice black magic, hexes, and worship deities associated with death and destruction. These beliefs aren't confined to ancient temples. They permeate urban life, with thousands of gurus and sadhus offering spiritual services for luck, revenge, or power. Reports have highlighted tragic cases of witch hunts, where women accused of having magical powers are brutally murdered. The fascination of the West with Indian spirituality can lead visitors to unknowingly participate in rituals whose true nature is a form of spiritual bondage. The warning: don't let the vibrant exterior and promises of enlightenment blind you to the truth. Some spiritual paths only lead to ruin. But 4. Brazil, when folk religion meets crime. In Brazil, a nation famous for its carnivals and soccer, faiths like Umbanda and Candomblé are widespread. These Afro-Brazilian religions blend African beliefs with Catholicism, but often involve spirit possession, animal sacrifice, and magical manipulation. What's alarming is the active participation of drug cartels and politicians who seek supernatural protection and power. Investigative reports have shown that gangs often consult with spiritual guides before major operations and use rituals to curse rivals and law enforcement. This creates a dangerous fusion of crime and spiritual practice, where physical and spiritual violence are inseparable. The warning: when magic becomes a tool for power and crime, it becomes a force for social destruction. Number 5. Pakistan, the magic behind the faith. Pakistan, a nation with a strong official Islamic faith, is a surprising entry on this list. Despite religious prohibitions, magical practices are incredibly common. So-called Amil Babas, or magicians, openly advertise their services in newspapers and on street corners, offering everything from love potions to curses for revenge. Research indicates that politicians and military officials frequently consult with these practitioners before making important decisions. This shows how supernatural practices not only exist among the populace but directly influence national policy. The warning: even in a country with a powerful official religion, dark spiritual forces can operate subtly, and we should not judge a society only by its public doctrines. 6. Mexico, the worship of death. Mexico, a nation with a rich Mayan and Aztec heritage, is home to the worship of one of the most dangerous deities, Santa Muerte, the saint of death. Devotion to the goddess has spread across the country, with millions of followers performing rituals and seeking her help. Drug cartels also revere Santa Muerte as a protector, performing rituals and making human sacrifices to seek safety and power. Ancient Aztec and Mayan traditions, which involved blood rituals, continue to exist in modern forms. This creates a complex spiritual environment where the worship of death is deeply integrated into society. The warning: do not confuse cultural tradition with demonic worship. Some practices that seem harmless on the surface are spiritually devastating. 7. Peru, sorcery in the land of prophecy. In Peru, ancient shamanic rituals persist. Local shamans, or curanderos, perform healing and prophecy rituals using sacred plants like ayahuasca and San Pedro. While many seek these rituals for healing and enlightenment, reports also show serious psychological and spiritual risks. Some shamanic rituals have been abused for manipulation and to cause harm to participants. The power of ayahuasca, a strong hallucinogenic brew, can put the user in a vulnerable spiritual state, making them susceptible to negative entities. The warning: powerful spiritual rituals can open doors that should remain closed. Power from non-divine sources comes at a high price. 8. Haiti, the deep roots of Voodoo Haiti, is a nation where voodoo is not just a religion, but an inseparable part of the social fabric. This belief system blends West African beliefs with Catholicism. Though many consider voodoo a peaceful religion, it is strongly associated with sacrificial rituals, curses, and communication with spirits known as Loa. Missionaries and scholars have noted the link between voodoo rituals and demonic entities. The belief in voodoo is so strong in Haiti that it affects politics and daily life, with rituals performed to seek protection, revenge, or influence elections. The warning: some spiritual beliefs can create a soul binding that replaces personal freedom with submission to external forces. Number 9. Nigeria, false prophets and power. Nigeria is a center of Christian revival, but also a breeding ground for extreme religious movements, often referred to as prosperity gospel or Christian magic. So-called prophets promise wealth, healing, and power through rituals and seed faith, donating money. Some of these preachers have amassed vast fortunes while their followers live in poverty. Alarming reports also detail violent exorcism and healing rituals. This is an example of how a Christian message can be twisted to serve personal gain, turning faith into a tool for manipulation. The warning: beware of doctrines that promise prosperity but teach nothing of sacrifice. True power comes from humility, not wealth. 10. Japan, ancient beliefs and modern ideologies. Japan, a technologically advanced nation, is also a place where ancient beliefs like Shintoism and new religious movements coexist with modern life. Rituals for ancestor worship and esoteric magic are common. The fascination of Japanese youth with mythology and spiritual stories creates fertile ground for new cults that combine traditional beliefs with modern ideologies, promising salvation and enlightenment. The past tragedy of a cult that used nerve gas in a subway attack serves as a stark reminder of the potential danger. The warning: the fusion of advanced technology and ancient beliefs can create a form of deception more sophisticated than ever before. Conclusion: a light in the darkness. These stories are not just historical footnotes, they are a wake-up call. We live in a world desperate for spiritual meaning, but which easily mistakes light for darkness. These nations are not places to fear, but places where we must understand that the spiritual war is real. And you, the viewer, you have a weapon more powerful than any ritual or curse in this world: wisdom and truth. Wisdom to see through the lies, and truth to walk in the light. Be careful what you listen to, what you watch, and what you allow into your life. The world is searching for a miracle, but the greatest miracle has already happened. It didn't come from a secret ritual or a hidden curse. It came from light, from truth, and from love. And you are called to be that light.